No. Yeah.
Now, all right. I'm gonna refresh, and we are live. That's excellent. Wow, our first live episode in. Have we ever done a live,
I think
Preston?
2 years.
2 years ago, yes,
Yeah.
2 years. That was the first year anniversary went live.
Yeah.
Well, let's start it. I'm excited. Hi, guys. My name is Thaon Simms, and welcome to the Limitless podcast. Joining us, as always, is your co host, Dr. Matthew Preston. Hail up the people, and Matthew.
Hey guys, what's good?
Nice, nice. And so, well, you guys can see the title of the video, Stocks to Watch for Q3
Mm-hmm.
2025, coming to you live by us. Um,
Live and direct.
Live and direct. Stocks to Watch is kind of my favorite series because we just get to have like a little, you know, market talk, things we like, things we may not like. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's just exciting for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I get to just talk. And now we have the live chat where we have
Mm-hmm.
people actually able to respond to us, ask us
Mm-hmm.
questions,
Yeah,
chime
big up
in.
Humble Boss. He said
Hmm.
congrats on 2K subs. Thank you, Humble Boss.
Blessings, humble boss. Sick. Yeah, man. That 2K, we really appreciate it. Each and every one of you guys. Thank you. We work really hard for it. Um, so we appreciate it. Oh, you're wearing the shirt. I just realized. You should have told me
Yeah,
to
I thought
change out my
this you should
scrubs, fam.
tell you to put on your clothes, bro. What am I, your
No, just
mom?
change out my scrubs. Okay. Humble boss, talk to us. Any stocks you're watching this quarter, this upcoming quarter?
Or anyone else, because we have some. I think
Really,
I
there are
have.
more
I say
people.
8 viewers.
Nice.
So
What's up,
you can
guys?
drop a. I think I don't know if people realize because maybe they thought like the videos scheduled like usual. It's just premiering,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's live.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let us know, guys, in the comments or in the chat. Sorry, if there are any stocks you want us to talk about. But for now, I don't know. What do you say we jump in, Preston? How's the market been treating you?
Um, Pretty good. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
I sold. What did I sold something? Well, actually, it's almost a month now. I sold a stock, made a decent gain on it. I think it
Okay.
was like 10% or so.
Okay. Nice.
And yeah, and then I took some of those gains. I had like some expenses, so I had to take out like funds out, and
Mm,
then I also like reinvested it in another company.
okay.
So
Nice.
yeah, not
That's
bad. You?
not bad. That's literally what
Mm-hmm.
investing's here for. I think I've been good. The thing I liked recently was getting certain like a couple companies at the price I really want to get them at, which is good.
Mm.
I've seen
NCB?
things.
What's your price for NCB again?
Remember, we said, what's crazy about the NCV thing?
Mm-hmm.
People called our video clickbait. We were like one of the first people to talk about NCB, and we had it in the title. NCB is dropped to 30 or something like that as our
Mm-hmm.
title.
Terrifying
Uh,
drop to 30.
yeah,
I
NCB is
think it was like
terrifying. Dropped to
40 something at the time. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. It was mid 40s at that time, and we
Yeah.
we kind of did a whole video kind of outlining what we thought would be the reasons why NCB would be dropping and so on. And yeah, I mean, some people call it clickbait, but look, it 3 months later, it literally happened.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, the stocks thing to me, it's not magic. It's not something that
Mm-hmm.
can't be understood.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always predict things with 100% certainty, but
You can like can almost never, I'd
yeah, you
say.
can. Yeah,
I feel like that's
okay.
always a good thing as an investor to almost never say, yeah, man, this it's definite, like it's 100% sure. Like it can be like 99% sure, but
Mm-hmm.
I try not to push it to the 100 anymore. Like sometimes I used to think, yo, 100%, this can't go wrong. But now it's like, okay, it's very likely, but still not 100%. Anything
And
could happen,
sometimes
you
you
know?
have to learn those lessons the hard way, because you
Mm-hmm.
could do all the research in the world. You have everything backing it up to say this is the reason why you
Mm-hmm.
pick this stock and this must happen. And all
Mm-hmm.
know that don't happen. Like look at people thinking, Transjam, they would start collecting money from the Mandeville leg buy. No,
Mm.
has it been what, a year now since that has been
I don't know.
developed or opened and
Yeah. When it, but
up?
do you know what the latest update says about it?
Uh, no, I saw
They probably
some
said it
chat
at
in
the
some
AGM.
groups.
I think I can. No, I can probably pull the transcript to see what they said. But
Okay,
yeah, it's probably gonna
you
be this. Well, actually, I'm not sure. Will it be this? Hopefully, be by this year. But then elections coming up, so I don't know.
exactly. We don't really know. And while you pull it up, I say humble boss. You put honestly, you don't have any stocks watching, but keeping your eyes on SCI. I'm assuming that's Cygnus. Don't know if that's the US one or the
Oh, Cygnus is
JMD.
interesting. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of buys or trades. Let's say some decent volumes were trading.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think
I don't
even
think we've got the official. I don't think they put out. Did I miss the notice, or did they put out a notice about the like confirmation that the recent share purchases was the buyback? How much time is it they
oh
have again? A month?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to announce whether they're the ones buying back the shares. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I haven't seen anything stating that this is the buyback, but
Oh,
we kind of
so
expect the buyback around this time.
yeah, so
Oh, go
I
ahead, Preston.
see. Well, this is from the transcript. I'm seeing it says a third. It's the Ivan Anderson. I think he's the managing director or CEO or whatever. I think it said he said the third or the fourth quarter of this year,
Mm-hmm.
and their financials follow the calendar year, right? So I think, yeah, they do. So I mean, well, it's July, end of July now.
Mm-hmm.
So third or fourth quarter, yeah, July, August, September, October, November, December. So could be around now.
So you're thinking after elections,
Yeah, I don't
maybe,
know.
maybe. But I mean, outside of TJH, I'm watching Trans Jamaica. I don't necessarily, I wouldn't put it in
You always
that
buying
I'm
it?
actively watching it. Would I
What
be
does that
buying
mean?
it? Meaning, if it hits okay, so there's always for any stock for me, or
Mm-hmm.
almost any stock, I should say. If it hits a certain price, I'll be willing to buy. Right? Just like
Mm-hmm.
if you own a stock, and a lot of people say they're gonna keep a stock
Mm-hmm.
for life or so on, but I'm pretty sure there is a number that will make you want to sell a stock. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, for Trans
So everybody
Jamaica,
has that price.
yeah, everybody has a price, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
say no, but everybody kind of has a price,
Mm-hmm.
unless there's some loyalty or some other reason. But everybody has. Even then, people still have a price. But
Mm-hmm.
for me and Transjam, there are certain things I still also need to see. Like, we had a conversation with, I don't know if it was with Randy. Trying to remember who it was, but we need to see, like, who is in the driver's seat now. Um, I want, because I think the last results were the first quarter that ended March
Oh, I think there was a big trade. You're
for
saying like there was a
Transjam.
big trade. Yeah. Wasn't there like a
Mm-hmm.
big trade after that?
That was in April. Yeah, that big trade. It
Mm-hmm.
was like 1.2 billion shares. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see who is in top 10. Um, that wouldn't necessarily deter me from buying or so on, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just another thing I'll be looking for, especially that next report. And that should
Mm-hmm.
be soon. That should be in a couple of weeks, maybe three, up to.
Mm-hmm. Could
They
it
have
be
up to
June, July, August, mid August?
mid
August is next
August.
week. Yeah. Did the enemy drop early?
I'm not sure.
Mm.
I'm not sure. But expecting them to
Oh,
just still be as profitable and so on. So
I see Troyan said he's watching Select Financial Manufacturing and
wow.
Distribution and AHPC, that's Atlantic Hardware
Mm-hmm.
Plumbing Company. Why are you
Troyan.
watching it, Troyan?
Troyan portfolio resembling mine. I'm also watching those two. They're actually right on my list.
Oh, you say watching, then you say in your portfolio. What's the diff? I'm confused.
You can't watch something if it's in your portfolio too. Remember,
No,
there's It depends on, you can watch it and own it, and you can watch it and not own it.
Okay, but it's not you saying like you're buying. That's why.
Oh, most definitely. Um,
Mm,
but I'd love to hear what Troyan is saying. Uh, before, but I do like both of those companies, and we've spoken
mm-hmm.
about both of them on the podcast. We spoke about. Have we spoken about Select MD?
I think it was in which one was it? 100K portfolio. I think it was in
Ah,
your 100K portfolio.
yeah. I would definitely. I like MD because of the things that they put out, the the plans that should happen,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully sometime this year, in terms of converting, delisting or converting those shares, and they're forming a unit trust. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, at first they were, a fund, and
Mm-hmm.
they were tracking the manufacturing and distribution companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. But the thing with funds that we've noticed in Jamaica is they do. I don't know if there's any fund that trades at NAV or above NAV. All the funds here, they trade at a discount to NAV, from my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And
It happens on
so,
other markets too, though. So I
yeah.
think there's also I'd say it's also the performance of the fund. If you look at
Mm,
most of the funds, I don't think the NAV, which is like, oh, your measurements basically are the value of the portfolio. Just like you'd say, oh, you have
hmm
a $10 million portfolio, $1 million portfolio, 100K portfolio. Most of them, I think, they're listed at say the portfolio was worth a million US. It's like it, it's been 5 years and it's either worth a million US or even less than that. So
mm,
I think there's also like, okay, why would I buy this thing that has continued to drop in value
hmm
versus, oh, it's a thing that has grown consistently over the last 5 years, you
true.
know?
But the unique thing with this fund is it's not an active fund. I'm pretty sure it's more
Mm.
of like, so an active
It's supposed
fund
to
would
be
be
an
buying.
index.
Yeah, this is more of an index fund. So they buy the companies that are within the manufacturing and distribution index.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a basket of companies that, those are
Mm-hmm.
their core operations,
Mm-hmm.
and they just hold them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this year, March 17th, Sagicor Select Funds, that company actually filed an application with the
Mm-hmm.
Supreme Court of Jamaica, seeking an order to convene a meeting of shareholders of, Sagicor Financial Select Fund. So that's Select F as the ticker, and Sagicor Manufacturing and Distribution Select Fund, that's Select MD, right? To vote on the proposed conversion of the funds into unit trusts pursuant to a court-approved scheme of arrangement. So that's with the Supreme Court. So once the court, grants the order approving the scheme, and that order is filed with the registrar of companies, the scheme would, it would become effective.
Mm.
So we're just
Can you say
waiting
all of that
on.
in English?
Basically, we're waiting. Yeah, because all the legal terms, I ain't no lawyer, but they're basically waiting on approval, from the Supreme Court to say, yeah, you can convert these shares to unit trust, or the fund, sorry, to a unit trust. And the thing with unit trust is they can be sold at NAV. I think they are sold at NAV. I don't know if it's
Mm.
like a slight discount or something,
Some
but
ways
they're
I just
sold at
viewed it
NAV.
as a buyback, but a price. Because you're delisting the company and basically they're gonna buy back, or they're gonna give you the option to say sure. So I thought of it as a buyback, but the price is based on the NAV.
That's a That's actually a good analogy. It's a very simplistic analogy. But yeah, it is basically like a buyback. That's very true actually. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you can measure the discount currently to NAV. So right now I think today Sagicor, sorry, Select MD traded it closed at 80 cents, and the NAV is $1.22. So
Mm.
that's
80,
maybe a
40.
50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about a 50% possible gain.
Mm. Hold on, we have some
Sorry.
stuff in the chat. So Kurt Gibson said Patrick Hilton, I think, made that trade. Well, I think he was talking about a trans jam. I think there's actually a bigger trade I'm talking about. That's not Patrick. I think it was like they said like a billion units
Mm,
or
Yeah, it was
1.2
like,
billion units. Yeah,
mhm.
that's not Patrick. I think Patrick has maybe like 2 mil US or something in there. if I'm
Mm,
not mistaken, or 423 mil Jamaican. But yeah, no, that was yeah.
okay.
I don't think it was.
I
I think it was split up into more than one trade though. But no, I don't think it's Patrick. And then
okay.
Troyan said, I think the NCB thing is gonna drag the Select Financial nav. Oh, so like, well, I guess so. I'm more going with the Select MD because Carrera should be good to them this year, which would give me more value in the unit trust. Okay.
Mm,
I think he
okay.
basically sees
Okay.
more gains coming from Select MD versus Select F. Because basically saying,
Yeah.
oh, like that stock portfolio is going to get hit more. This stock portfolio he thinks is going to grow. And Kurt Gibson says Carreras is his baby. So I guess he really loves Carreras and his dividends. And Jarul says, what stock would you buy if you were new to trading and could only buy one stock?
Mm.
Um,
Good
well,
question, Jaru. Hmm.
you'd have to have speaks with your licensed financial advisor.
Hmm.
Um, that's once again that's hard because I don't know what you're not saying a level of money, you're not saying a goal. It's kind of hard. Like it's just saying you buy.
Yeah.
But
And the thing is, we aren't licensed financial advisors, so it even though you're asking us what stocks we would buy,
mhm.
it's kind of hard because it depends on
Your
the
personality,
reason.
your
Yeah,
goal.
it
Yeah, I realize the
depends on
personality is a big part of it, bro. Because you can someone
one stock.
personality. Some people are just how they're raised and nature nurture.
Hmm. Yeah, and as you said, it's one stock. So I mean, do I have $10 million and I can buy one stock?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Do
saying.
I
Like
have
it
do I
depends.
have 50 grand and can buy one stock? Because
10 grand.
yeah, it depends. It depends. Um, but yeah, I would say you can speak to your licensed financial advisor and see what options are there based on what's in your bank account and your risk tolerance and so on. Make sure you have a good meeting with them. Ask them questions too as
Hmm.
well. I think that's the best way to get out of those kind of interactions with your broker. So
Hmm.
yeah, but Troyan, those are really good points. The financial companies, the companies in the financial sector, like the banks and so on, a lot of them have
Hmm.
not performed as well as the manufacturing companies.
Hmm.
We've seen significant growth with Carreras recently, and the stock
What
price is
price is it at
just
now?
good question. I'm not sure.
Carreras today is at
Wow,
16.18.
nice. I
The
wonder what they
52
started the
week
year
high
at.
is 16.50. They started the year at 13
Mm.
$13. Yeah.
And I remember late last year, I'm pretty sure they were under $10 last year. Well, see, from January of last year, they were trading at
Hmm.
$8,
Mm.
45. So that's a decent gain, and that's 100% in what 18 months.
Hmm.
Yeah, nice,
Mm.
decent gains. Troy
Hmm.
and your portfolio smiling back at you, man. That's good.
Well, I think he said he
um,
owns Select MD though, not um. I guess it's Select MD's portfolio. He's saying, I guess, yeah.
maybe, yeah.
And the thing is, like,
I
Select
think
MD, yes, careers will move, but it's the whole thing of your diversification. Because I think they own a lot of broilers, right? Jamaica
Select
broilers.
MD.
Let me. Hold
Yeah,
on, I should pull up the. I'm just supposed I should
and they
like
took a
share my
hit.
screen sometimes. Yeah. Let me pull up this to show there something. One sec.
I just took a look at the live. Am I at the majority of the screen? I'm not sure if that can change.
Oh, wow, that was everyone. Wow, I thought it was just me. Okay. Wow. Yeah, so you have to get used to this.
Yeah, it's
Thank
first
you.
or first live in 2 years, so we're just getting used to it for real.
Yeah. So this is Select MD's portfolio up to the end of March.
Mm-hmm.
You see Carreras is their heaviest holding, 15.81%. That's basically 16%. They also have Wisinco.
Mm-hmm.
Carpsment will do them well. I mean, their expansion should hopefully bring in like some more revenues. It'll be interesting to see what happens if if they actually Cement ends up getting sold.
Oh yeah,
Grace,
that would be interesting.
Grace. I see broilers is there. Broilers 6%. So yeah, Curris is 15. But like if broilers has dropped like probably a decent amount. Yeah, look for them. They dropped. It says right there 21%.
Mm.
Last M Jamaica
And
producers. That's not going anywhere.
that probably caused the portfolio weighting to drop as well,
Mm. Yeah,
just
it was
based on
probably more. Yeah, it was
the
up. It would have been
price.
more before. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one to watch. Definitely one to watch. Um, and even there would be some gains on the financial side, Select F as well, because there
Mm.
is still a discount to NAV there. I just don't think it's as
Is
great
what is it?
of
Let
a
me see.
discount.
Yeah, let me see. How much is NCB for Select F? Ooh, NCB is 13% of their portfolio, and this is before the co-op price was NCB at. This is end of March.
Hmm.
NCB would have been what price? NCB would have been. Wow, look at this chart. Damn. Gosh. NCB. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, end of March. End of March. It was 48 at that time. It's now 31. So when you see that select F, well, I guess
Hmm.
you see it with the nav.
Yeah, and you can see, yeah,
Uh,
you
well,
definitely
actually,
see
the
it with the
nav
NAV falling.
hasn't. Well, I guess that shows you the diversification. Because this is chart is
Yeah,
showing end of March. There, how do I? Oh, yeah,
but if
it
you look
wasn't
at
that
it,
that much.
that's still a, if even if you buy, like, let's say you buy, you bought today, this is Select F at 45 cents, right? And
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow it just converted and it's not a unit trust and you sold, that's still a 20% gain.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the NAV has come down, it's still a decent gain. That's still a 20% gain. So it's just not as
Mm.
great as Select MD, but there is still profit to be made there as well. Worse if the gap closes with Select MD's price and the NAV. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So
always
Troyan
something to
said,
know.
he said the select MD nav didn't fall off much with the JBG drop in price. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I guess that shows you the benefit of. When did the Broilers news come out
This quarter,
again?
it's been at least,
You said this, you mean Q2?
yeah, so
Because
two
Q3
months.
now.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Q2, sorry.
I think I put it in the. Do I have it on the charts? I don't remember. I
Yeah, I think
think
it's
it
on
was
the
around
chart.
here. Like, yeah, it's just around end of March,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Mm-hmm. No.
So, okay.
Wow, nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you said you had a stock that you said you wanted to mention.
Oh well, I mean, Troyan mentioned Select MD, but I can also
Mm-hmm.
touch on something else and get back to Troyan's second point. Um, you would have seen the recent acquisition, Preston, and I want to big you up for that because you said it on the podcast where Kingston Wharves actually acquired a piece of cargo handlers, and you called that from way last year. That if they wanted to expand, they could buy a piece of cargo handlers. You
Mm.
guys
Well,
can check
actually,
that out.
I thought it was takeover. I was hoping for like
Oh,
a takeover, but yeah, was it
okay, yeah,
four?
true.
I think they're saying they're gonna buy up to 40%.
Mm-hmm. And that in that episode, that was the Kingston Wharves ticker
Mm-hmm.
episodes where we just spoke about what Kingston Wharves does, them
Mm-hmm.
being the major port terminal operator and logistics provider, and that's done by Newport West Side. All right. And I liked that move. That move was pretty cool,
Mm-hmm.
not only because you called it out, but just the possible synergies.
Just
And we've
good old
never,
speculation.
yeah, good old speculation. And we never did a tickers on cargo handlers. So if you guys want to study that,
Mm.
that would be cool. because I was
Has
reading up on them
Carga
recently.
has a did the price react?
Yeah,
It
it
did.
went up a bit. Yeah, I remember
Oh,
looking
nice.
at it. I don't know if you can look for it now, but cargo
Mm-hmm.
handlers is, they're a Mobile based port services company. Their core business revolves around something that they call stevedoring and wharf operations. Stevedoring is literally when you take those big containers on and off the ships. So
Mm-hmm.
they handle like bulk containerized cargo. They also service cruise ships and so on. So that's how they generate revenue. They charge a fee for those kind of things. And they also lease
Mm-hmm.
equipment, just like Kingston Wharves does. Provide management services related to the logistics of the port and those kind of stuff. So it's similar to Kingston Wharves, a bit different because they also own a 30% stake in a company called Buying House Cement Limited.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they, they spent maybe around, I think it was around 100 mil Jamaican to buy that stake. And
Mm-hmm.
they import cement from the Domrep, from
Mm-hmm.
Domisum in Downrep. So that supplies Western Jamaica and so on, the construction needs over there. But it's about
Mm-hmm.
10% of Jamaica's cement market. The
Mm-hmm.
lion's share is still carb cement. But, you know, financially, cargo handlers is much smaller when you compare it to Kingston Wharves. I think
Mm-hmm.
their revenues, I can't
Cargo
remember their
handlers.
revenues. Yeah, cargo handlers revenues.
Last year they did 273 million Jamaican. Well, no, that's profit. Sorry.
That's profit. Yeah,
618, whatever, high profit margin.
yeah,
It's
a nice
almost
profit
half,
margin.
right? Or
Mm-hmm.
more than half.
Yeah.
Well, no, no, sorry, less than
No, it's
half.
about,
Can't
yeah, it's a
maths.
bit less than half. Yeah.
Can't maths.
Yeah. But the profits are higher even the year before, I believe. So
Mm,
and the company pays dividends. They distribute up to, I think it's over 60% of their earnings to shareholders. Um,
mm,
so that was cool. But having Kingston Wharves take a piece in that company, because it's much larger than cargo handlers. I think they
mm-hmm,
they generate between 7 to 10 billion in annual revenue,
mm-hmm,
and we already spoke about what cargo handlers is just over 500 million. So
mm-hmm,
it's a much bigger company, um, but they want that stake on the other side of the island.
mm-hmm,
Now, the beautiful thing about all of those, and a lot of people are watching Kingston Wharves, a lot of people are watching cargo handlers, and so on.
mm-hmm,
I'm also with Troy on watching Atlantic, and I think Atlantic stands to benefit in a few ways that doesn't necessarily just meet the eye, you know.
mm-hmm,
Because when you look at Atlantic, there. So we already did Atlantic. I don't know if you guys want to look at that video. You can. It's the tickers that we did when they were doing an IPO. But the TLDR is, they're a wholesale distributor of a lot of construction materials, um, and I think the connection with Kingston Wharves and so on is,
mm-hmm,
one on the surface, one is a distributor slash retailer, and the others are just port logistics. But there are a lot of interconnections that tie them together. Like one, the leadership and ownership networks. So
mm-hmm,
Atlantic listed this year. If you look in the prospectus and look who's on the board, you have notably PB Scott, who's the head of Musan
mm-hmm,
Group. He's, I think, Atlantic's chairman, and Jeffrey Hall. Jeffrey
mm-hmm,
Hall is chairman of Kingston Wharves, right,
mm-hmm,
and CEO of Panjam Group and so on. He's on
mm-hmm,
Atlantic's board. Um, you have, majority of the shareholder is Musan's subsidiary, which is Construct. I'm not sure how much Construct owns now, but it's on. I'm pretty sure it's on My Money JA. Construct is a Musan company subsidiary, alongside Lumber Depot, who owns that, still Musan as well. Still PB Scott, I should say,
mm-hmm,
and also GNAC, right, General Accident, which is also a part of Musan, right? So
mm-hmm,
Atlantic, it essentially Atlantic's backed by Musan, right, by the whole Musan conglomerate, um, and now you can see that it's closely allied with Kingston Wharves as well. So for me, if you have like a lot of those heads as directors and so
mm-hmm,
on, that increases the likelihood of like a collaborative set of opportunities, knowledge
Mm-hmm.
sharing, strategic direction, all of those kind of things between the
Mm-hmm.
port operations and Atlantic's distribution business.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in the prospectus too, I remember they actually sold. They had a previous warehouse that they sold. That was on. I think it was still also on Ashenheim Road, but they sold
Mm-hmm.
it to who? They sold it to Kingston Wharves,
Mm-hmm.
and so they got a bigger warehouse. I got a bigger space. I think it was almost like 50,000 square feet or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
before the previous one was like 30,000 or something like that. I don't remember. But, having Kingston Wharves as a partner brings just, logistical advantages because Atlantic already has physically positioned themselves right next to the port of Kingston. And, that streamlines a lot of the supply chain things. Um, so that close proximity, them selling, you can tell there are a lot of business relationships between them. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have now the access to Western Jamaica via cargo handlers. So, I think with if you look at who Atlantic's clients are, who are their customers, I should say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And them in their prospectus, so they want to serve and they do projects island wide. They have clients island wide, including that booming construction
Mm-hmm.
on that north coast. Tourism developments, Montego Bay, Negril is much closer to Negril now.
Mm-hmm.
Mobe, Saint Anne, Trelawney, and I think that's where that new stake with Kingston Wharves owning about what 27%, and they also now secure board representation. That's where you have a bridge between Kingston's port, Mobe's port, and Atlantic. So I think they can benefit from getting more contracts. And who knows? Maybe next year you see them open up a new branch in Montego Bay, or they acquire a hardware business in Montego Bay that's close to the port. I guess you guys can also be like me and look up what companies are close to that port as well. Um, but yeah, I think the leadership ties make this coordination quite plausible. So
Mm-hmm.
it's something I am looking forward to seeing more of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's also the lesser point about even cement, because Atlantic also distributes some cement as well. So cargo handlers having that 30% stake, I'm not sure if there is any synergies there, but hey, the overlap could suggest something mutually beneficial as well, because Atlantic could become a distribution partner for buying house cements products. So still also for cargo handlers. So there's still a lot, even some more things that we can go into. And but from a
Mm-hmm.
from my perspective, I think Atlantic does have they stand a lot to gain from this
Mm-hmm.
acquisition. So I'm curious
Mm-hmm.
just to see what else happens there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So actually interesting. I think it's dropped a bit today. Like it's at 79 cents. Just end of June, it was at like 96 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Want to watch? I mean,
Yeah.
when was
I
their
do.
their last financials? They posted a loss, I believe. I think
Is it?
the year ending December 2024. I
Isn't
don't know
it
if it was
posted
a
a loss for the
loss.
full year? I don't
No,
think
not
so.
for the full year. I think it was for the quarter that they didn't put in the prospectus. I'm not sure if it was I
Mm,
need to actually redo the financials. I don't know if it was a loss or
so
tiny
if my money
profits,
J is
but it wasn't
correct, it
good
shows it as a profit. It was better
as a
than last
profit.
year. The year before was a loss. I'm seeing this as they lost 71 mil for the 2023 quarter four, and then for the 2024 quarter four, they made 27 mil in profit. So it
Okay,
was a
I need to
reversal
actually
from a
mess up.
loss to, and they had
Mm,
reported increased revenues up 28%.
let me
So
take a look
I'd say
and
it was
see.
decent.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
the year before that they made the loss. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'll
Because
take
they
a
would
look
report
further in the
soon, wouldn't
financials.
they?
Yeah, they would. They would.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to at least see their that fresh new report. I think that would be
Mm-hmm.
the first unaudited quarterly financial since they've listed. So Would be good to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Atlantic is one I'm definitely watching as well.
Are you
I
buying?
think. Am I buying? I did. I caught some today, uh, but we'll see. It's not
Is it
the
what price
heaviest
you got
holding
it
in
at?
my.
You mean
Let
the
me
monkey
check.
money?
I put
Well, I see. So
no,
you got it at 76 cents.
no. I didn't get that sell down, and
I
I
see
think
you at
that sell down
81
was at
cents.
the. Yeah, I think that sell down was. Are you looking at the trades?
Yeah.
Oh, yo, mind your
Okay.
David, me, bro. Keep calm, but yeah.
Well,
But
no. Well,
yeah.
I know when you buy. No, I know when you sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, but
Uh,
yeah, Atlantic is one I'm definitely watching.
Oh, we
Um,
should check some comments. So big up Am I pronouncing it Rosewell or Roswell? I think it's probably Roswell. Well, no, it's Rosewell Campbell. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. He said, "Good evening." Phil, big up Dr. Phil. He says he's watching the JSE, the Jamaica Stock Exchange, SVL, Supreme Ventures Limited, QWI, and NCB, and
mhm,
and and I guess he's watching a lot.
mhm,
Phil, are you just watching or are you buying? And Rosewell Campbell, please, I hope I'm not butchering his name, said Musson Group owns and has a big stake in a lot of companies. Yeah, that's true. Because now look at that indirectly or that directly, Seprod, ASPRED, and CPJ, or Epley, and then Atlantic.
mhm,
There's a lot of, and then I guess Slumbo. So there's a
mhm.
lot,
And
and I'm sure there's others.
yeah,
PBS,
they have
Productive Business Solutions, I think they own a
Canopy.
stake or something.
Mhm.
Well, oh yeah, it's
They
not just
also own
listed.
half a Canopy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite a bit. Their tendrils are everywhere, to be honest.
Mm. And then
Yeah.
Rosewell says Atlantic hardware stock price could go lower if investors see it dip. Oh, so he's saying people get fearful if they see it drop, like IPO holders. He said if Atlantic doesn't pay a dividend in the next 2 years, they may continue to trend down. Um, I wouldn't say it's just the dividend though, because I think if they post good reports, could have float. I think that it's pretty tightly held. If they post are really nice, if they have a good year this year, I wouldn't expect them to be below IPO price. I would think they'd probably be up at least, I don't know, 20,
You
20,
think so?
30%. If they have a good year
Not
being
necessarily, because
profits
they had
up
a good
30,
year.
50%.
I mean, they had a good year before they came to market. They had profits
Mm, no,
and
that
so
wasn't a
on.
good year. 2023,
What do you call
I'm
a
seeing
good year?
profits. Hold on, let me pull up, let me share. 1 sec. Let me qualify it. So if this data is right, so it says 2023
Mm-hmm.
profits were down 51% compared to 2022, and
Mm-hmm.
then for 2024 profits were down 14%. So they've had profits decline in
Oh.
2021, 2022, 2023, 4 years of profit declining.
Mm.
So if they were to do, I don't know, let me see. So their best year yet was 340 mil, but I think that was the year where they had some, like, that was a file and they had some insurance credit, I think.
Mm.
So if it's not that, so their best year they do around 200 mil. If they do 200 million profit this year, 200 million up, I wouldn't expect them to be below $1.
I guess one way to see, right? One way to find out.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think as many people are in it for the dividends, because I think their dividend policy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, don't remember what their dividend policy is, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm not sure if I 100% agree with you,
Mm-hmm.
Sir Campbell.
Me?
But
Oh,
no,
oh.
no, no.
So you agree with
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I agree with you
Smart man.
because what? Um, No, but I do agree with you still. So
Smart
yeah,
man.
and I mean, you know, you already know that I'm actively watching it. So, but there are quite a few other stocks and other stocks that are, some of us have said. Phil talked about JSC, SVL, QWI, NCB.
Mm,
Phil, if you had to pick one of those stocks that you're watching, potentially buying, why are you buying
hmm
it? Why are you watching it? Let us know. What do you like about the company? What do you
Kurt
anticipate about the stock?
Kurt Gibson says, look at QWI's US holdings. They're doing well. Okay, they probably own. I think they own Nvidia. So yeah, I think Nvidia has risen pretty like a good amount recently, right?
Yeah, their stock price has, their US holdings have been decent. I will say
I
that.
wish they showed you the equivalent JMD value or the US value for
Hmm.
these holdings. That because
Yeah.
you'd have to do the mental. My math's not so. That's 600.
Yeah, but Nvidia has been, it's a
That's
it's a stunk.
mm,
That's
they
actually
have
a
a lot of
stunk.
Meta.
Hmm.
I know Meta is pushing into a lot of AI. They have Nvidia, obvious AI. I'm not sure about your Alphabet is used to be Google, Microsoft, big AI, Amazon, robots, AI. I'm not sure about some of these like United Rentals. Yeah, they're pretty.
Hmm.
I think they've had better luck on the they've had better luck on the U.S. market than the Jamaica market.
Yeah, you think so? Why they
I,
don't? Why they
that's
don't
this
buy?
shows it
Why they don't buy Access?
as in
Guys, I want
control
to.
it.
No, I want to. The reason I'm saying this, sorry, it's an insider, but we can't do inside jokes with you guys here. So, QWI's AGM happened recently, and Preston sent in a question. We can probably,
It
put
was
it on
more than
us.
one.
I know, but
Yeah.
your question that you asked was, you know, considering why doesn't QWI consider averaging down or buying
Mm-hmm.
more
Mm-hmm.
access shares, considering that it's at a steep discount right now, compared to when they bought at what price did I buy? At $32.
Around there,
Uh,
yeah.
you know, and they said next question. And as funny as I thought it was at the time, I didn't even know you could do that because a question was asked. So why are you saying next question? And this is at an annual general meeting, and this is a shareholder asking pertinent questions about the stock that he owns. All right. To me, it's just like you don't really value the question because I don't know. I would take any question asked at an AGM seriously. You have to show that you actually care about your shareholders because they're
You
they're
don't
wondering
have
the
to.
same thing.
You don't
No,
have to.
or you don't have to, but you have
You
to
don't
answer the
have to. You
question. I'm
want
almost sure you
no, they
have to
don't
answer the
have to.
question.
I won't. I don't. Well, I'd
They
have to check. I
didn't,
guess the. But I
but
don't think you have to. And you can't say you have. You can. Well, actually, I don't know the rules, but I don't think they have to. I think it would generally be good, but I don't think. Well, anyone I
I
guess
don't know.
can talk in the chat if there's a law on you having to answer the question, give some form of answer. But I
Hmm.
doubt that's actually like a rule or law.
That just left
We
a
have
bad
some
taste in my
stuff
mouth,
in the
though.
chat. I want to catch up. Phil says one of the stocks he's watching is SVL, Supreme Ventures, never few, but JSC is also a dark horse. He
Hmm.
also says
Oh,
QWI
before
has a.
hold on, Preston.
Mhm.
Before you go on, I do want to leave with that point though, because I think it's it really does leave a bad taste in my mouth. Like I don't think
So sell your
even if you
QWI then, no
can,
bros.
no, it's and I'm not
Sell your
saying
shares, no
no.
bro.
I
Sell your
at that
shares to
point I
me.
probably would. At that
Sell your
point I
shares to
probably
John.
would.
You would
No,
sell your
but
shares because he said that.
mm, it depends on the company, not necessarily QWI. But the
Mm.
point is, at least show like this is the thing that they are showing us that they don't really
hmm
care too much about retail investors. Like if that wasn't a clear indication that they don't care about retail investors, I don't know what else is. So
I mean, you answer my other questions.
were you being facetious with that question? With that question?
No,
I
I
know
don't think so.
because if they have this stock, it's either you believe in it, or and if you believe in it, then you buy more. Is it that you're just stuck in it and can't sell it? Because in my opinion, the principals believe in the company. John Jackson speaks, I- I guess no, he doesn't, but his company, or the company that he's affiliated with, IC Insider, always says that
Mm-hmm.
access is below value, and they value it at XYZ.
Mm-hmm. I
So
mean, bro, when access goes to 1,000, or sorry,
yeah,
250,
250
you'll have to eat your words, bro.
facts. Then I will publicly come up here and apologize to John
Or will
Jackson.
you say
And
next question?
no, 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 no. I'd be better. I'd definitely be better, and I would apologize. I'd man up and apologize for sure.
Mm,
But I don't see that happening anytime soon. I can say that with confidence.
I
So
want.
yeah, but you
Let
can
me
get back
catch
to the
up.
chat.
Yeah. Troyan said, "LOL." I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was at a QWI point. Kurt Gibson says, "Listen to Nationwide News. And SVL wants to buy Caymanos, but the other stakeholders are saying that Caymanos should not fall into private hands." The one of the things I was watching was that if could they try to, if you look at things like what I guess what's going on with like the government, where they had to, I guess they were pressed for some cash and then they sold their Transjam stake and their offer for sale. Maybe SVL is, maybe the heads of SVL looked at it and they were like, hey, if they need cash for assets, why don't they
Hmm.
just sell us Caymanos instead of us having to lease it from them? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I think that is, I guess, smart on their end. It could probably make sense for them to buy it. I think they were saying like, if they owned it, they could get better rates on things like loans and other stuff, and it would also make more sense because if you own it, you're more likely to invest in it. It's like if you
Hmm.
have an apartment, you're renting it. Yeah, you'll buy things to do, but there probably are certain things that you would not put in some if you're renting from someone versus you have a mortgage on it, you own it. You'll fix it up more and buy other things because it's going to be yours. That's I guess kind of how I think about it. And
Hmm. You think someone would
Rosewell,
take over the company? Caymanas.
well, no, I'm saying I think SVL says they want to buy it. Doesn't even necessarily have to be only SVL. I'm sure they have
Agreed.
their affiliated companies and whatever.
Yeah.
um Roswell says when companies do an IPO that helps companies pay down the debts, normally we would expect some good results that motivates retail investors to buy up more. We see IPO droppings below their market price.
Mm.
Well, I mean, some of the IPOs haven't, I guess, performed. Like the companies themselves haven't necessarily performed. I guess he's talking about like what would be some of them, like One Great Studio. Wait, am I sharing my? Oh, I'm sharing my screen. Wow. One Great Studio. I know,
And
like there was a lot of talk about their acquisition that they did before they listed High
hmm
Voltage, I think. And
yeah, the
2023, I
SEO
think they
company.
listed, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
search engine optimization, which I remember like watching a video. Did I watch it? Yeah, they was talking about like how search engine optimization is dead
Yeah,
on YouTube. And like I was
because
saying,
of what
with a lot of the
AI.
AI, yeah, like you're
Hmm.
saying with things like the whole Google AI stuff. But look at that. They listed 2023. They had their best year yet, much higher than usual. 79 million profits. Hold on,
Hmm.
count. Yeah, 79 million profit. Look at that. The year before it was 27. So they're doing like 20, 30 mil, all 10 mil for 2020. Then bam, they
Hmm.
experienced that rapid growth. I don't know if this was maybe high. I don't know, did they book a gain on High Voltage or something? And then the year after, profits dropped 50%. And now, well, the year isn't finished. This is the first quarter, but they've dropped a loss. So it's almost it's weird because like, okay, I'm sure when you had looked at it, the price, like if you look at like valuation metrics, the price to earnings ratio, do you remember what the price to earnings ratio was at IPO Theon? Like what, I could
No.
probably work it out, but say maybe it was like 20.
Hmm.
But then once again, that profit wasn't, well, they weren't able to sustain that. The year after, it drops by half. So maybe the stock price drops by half.
Yeah.
And then now look at this, a loss. I don't know what, I'd have to go. I don't really know much about what's going on with them. But revenues and profits are down. Revenues are down 14%. Their expenses went up a lot too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, R.A. Williams too.
R.A. Williams is another one as well. They're
I
below, they're at what, 50 cents now? 45,
Oh wow,
46 cents.
47 cents. Wow. But look
47
at them.
cents.
They
And they listed at a
listed.
dollar.
It was last year they listed, right? Early last year or
Yes.
mid last year? No, mid last year. Yeah, mid last
Oh.
year. And look at this. Their year. Well, yeah, this is their financial year after their profits have dropped by 66%. Yeah, they didn't list their
Mm-hmm.
best year, but look at that profit swing quite
Yeah,
wild.
they
It wasn't
made
sustainable, and now look at it, PE of 32.
exactly. In fact, 2024, their profits were what, 85 mil, and 2025, that year it's 28 mil, and you can see
Mm-hmm.
certain things gone up, like administrative and general expenses are up
Mm-hmm.
by over 100 mil, year over
Mm-hmm.
year, and
Mm-hmm.
so on. So it you can see a lot of businesses are going through tough times right now, for sure. I do
Mm-hmm.
see a lot more. Funny enough that you mentioned Aria Williams, because I do see a lot more of those med reps now. So I don't know if they're trying to push a lot more of their
Mm-hmm.
products in clinics or so on. If this is an effort for them to start this. In fact, we have a brethren, Kadami. He works with Aria Williams now. He actually
Oh,
showed me. Yeah, yeah.
from Wilma's.
Wilmos. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, he
Oh,
actually showed
okay. I
me
haven't
and
seen that
was,
guy in a long time.
yeah, he was
He
big up
shouted.
Kadami.
He shouted you re what?
Just talking about the products, that's how a lot
Oh,
of the, yeah. So for those who don't know, that's kind of how a lot of the drug reps get to advertise their drugs, I guess. So they speak to us as doctors, the people that are actually prescribing the medication, tell us about the drugs, the
oh. Mm-hmm.
benefits, the mechanism of
Mm-hmm.
action. They show us
Mm-hmm.
clinical trials, about why their drug is superior to all those other drugs on the market and so on. Yeah, I mean, I pre a lot of those studies. Those studies are actually
You
really good,
you
and I
buy the
do
snake
learn.
oil?
Um, bro, you know what I tell all
Sound
of
like you
them?
do.
If I'm being honest, I actually tell them, yo, I tell them, if you're not listed on the stock, I joke. That's not what I tell them. I
Uh,
told them I do prefer, I tell them, I'm a shareholder of another
mm-hmm.
company. So unless your product
Mm-hmm.
is better than that, because at the end of the day, it's really my patients I care about. So if the product that they're telling me is better than the similar product from, that other company, then yeah, I'm gonna start prescribing it because it's for my patient's benefit. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny that we have two companies, Aria Williams and Indies, and you have,
Mm-hmm.
Last D too. You have companies that are
Mm-hmm.
listed on the stock exchange. So it's funny that doctors
Mm-hmm.
can actually participate and own pieces of
Mm-hmm.
those companies, so that they can push those kind of drugs. And so it's cool to me. But going back to the
Mm-hmm.
Aria Williams point, do you think that
Mm-hmm.
they listed at a premium, meaning like a high valuation? I actually don't really remember the
Mm-hmm.
valuation, but do you think
I
like a
think it
lot of
was
these
like maybe 20
companies,
times or something. I vaguely remember that.
do you think a lot of these companies could benefit from listing at a much lower valuation? Because that's actually
Yeah.
another point as well.
Well, benefits. When you say benefit, the company,
The share
like
price.
who?
We only care. We're
Yeah,
share
the
price
share price
warriors
would
here.
benefit. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you're selling the business at a cheaper price,
Mm-hmm.
then like if you're selling it, say for example, say certain people would value. Some people would say, "Oh, I think this company is worth $1," but
Mm-hmm.
then it's like there could be some people. Maybe there's like more. Say 10% of people would say it's worth $1. Say like 50% would say it's worth 50 cents. If you then sell it at say 30 cents, then you're much more likely to get a pop or a rise in the share price. But once again, you're
Mm-hmm.
selling more of the business. So on the company side, they're like, hey, do I want to give up 20% of my business for 200 mil? Or would I give up 40% of my business for 200 mil? They're going to want to give up, as if they can squeeze as much as possible, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
want that. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. Did you end up buying?
And to Aria Williams, no, I
Mm,
didn't. It just
yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't as
Mm-hmm.
IPOs. It takes
Hold
a
up.
lot for me to. Oh,
There's a lot of chat. I just realized I do want to not lose the
oh,
chat. I want to, yeah. So where were we were at, I think,
I
oh,
don't want to cut
Phil
the
said,
convo though while we're doing it, but I get what you're saying. For me, just to finish my point,
uh-huh.
no, I didn't buy, and I think a lot of these companies we actually now need to follow up with them and be like, did you do what you said you needed to do with the IPO money? Because that's another thing. If you're all these companies are coming at a premium and so on, you better be
Mm-hmm.
hitting those targets that is put in your prospectus. You better
Mm-hmm.
be, because you're a shareholder, so
Or
you have to
what? Or
hold.
what?
No, you just have to, or you sell,
N-
which is what's happened.
No, but it's like you were saying, no, well, okay, I thought you were
No,
saying
I'm saying
something else.
as a
Because you were
shareholder.
like,
No, no,
these
no, no, no,
companies
no,
need to do what they do.
no,
And I'm
no,
like,
no, no,
well,
no.
if they
Because it's
don't,
simple
what's going to
enough.
happen?
No, it's simple, and you see it. If they don't hit their targets, if they don't
Mm-hmm.
meet the expectation, the reason you bought, the why,
Mm-hmm.
you just sell. If it's not in your goal, you just sell.
But I'm down 50%, bro.
Yeah, but take it from the company's perspective. We got our money, and we're trying to do our thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
we always have to be meddling. Who is in charge? Do they care about share price as well? That's something we always talk about. Do they care
Mm-hmm.
about share price? Because then, if you're aligned with the share price, like I am, you have skin in the
Mm-hmm.
game. All
Mm-hmm.
right, we can probably work together. But
Mm-hmm.
let's get back to the chat. Sorry to keep you guys
Yeah.
waiting.
So I think we were at,
I think Phil said agreed though. Shameful to see the question should be answered.
oh, that
I
was the
agree, Phil.
QWI question.
Thank you. I do agree. Kirk
Yeah.
says some disagreement happened at Caymanas. VM is one to watch too. Interesting part is the
B mill?
mezzanine. I say I say
I guess
VM.
he's probably saying
Yeah.
B mill, I guess. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
who said, where's that one? Interesting part is the mezzanine debt in Home Choice. Oh, yeah, I think they're affiliated with Home Choice. They almost be
Mm-hmm.
like remind me of like a Spur Tree kind of story, I guess. I do think they're probably going to list at some point. Um,
I I think so.
mhm,
IPO slash spin-off maybe. I do agree. I
mhm.
think I remember reading up that home choice story, and it was just interesting because I didn't know that, at the time I didn't know Muslims. I think it's Muslims that don't take on debt. Yeah, I hope I'm
Yo,
not
careful what
wrong.
you're saying, bro.
I know, I
I'm
really
not
hope
trying to
I'm
get
not wrong.
canceled here, bro.
I'm not trying to get cancelled
I'm
either,
not
but I
trying to get
remember reading
canceled, bro.
something. Can somebody please correct me if I'm wrong? But
Mm,
yeah, it. I see more of an equity play. So let's see.
mm.
Um, keep
And
going,
then
Preston. I actually lost
someone,
the
the
word.
diplomat of the era says, hurry up, Barita, and buy NCB wherever you need to access the funds from the company can't suffer anymore. Well, I wouldn't even have said Barito. I don't think Barito has I think
Cash like that.
I don't think how much should NCB unless it's at $10. I don't, well, even at that, like what is NCB really worth? Um and then
NCB.
I
What do you
think,
mean? NCB is
well,
worth a at.
no, I'm saying at $10, what is the price? And even then I don't think Barita has that money. That's what I'm saying. Like I was saying, oh,
Oh,
it
okay.
must be like the price that they could,
Yeah,
and they'd have to probably
I
be
feel
super
that.
leveraged, and then the problems that
Do
come
you
with
think
that.
a local slash Caribbean company would buy NCB
Uh,
over a foreign entity?
I I don't know. I'm not.
Because I can't see many companies that would do it. It'd
Hmm.
have to be
Or
some
could. Saying could
or
or
could
would?
be. Could.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could.
Mm.
Could is probably the better thing.
Phil says, I think the government should sell it. I guess he's talking about Caymanas with conditions
Mm-hmm.
that horse racing won't be killed. Well, I guess well, I think he said he was watching SVL, so I guess he's saying that
Mm-hmm.
from the perspective of a shareholder.
Mm-hmm. Or
um,
even with
yeah, I
like
don't think.
main event or so on. There are a lot of
Mm,
companies in that region.
and
Um
then Kurt Gib. Oh, you want to go?
no, no. Well, I would say Phil, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I I think I do share your sentiments as well. I do agree.
Mm-hmm.
um, Privatization would definitely benefit it, but
Mm.
that specific condition, yes, I see a lot of so horse racing. I think in Jamaica, I grew up in a household where I used to listen to that every Saturday. My dad would drive down to
Listen
the
to what?
racetrack, like horse racing on like the radio and so
Oh.
on, or the TV. He would have his
Mm-hmm.
book on a Friday night, just medicine like which horses he's gonna probably put a bet on and so on. Yeah, but it was hilarious growing up. My dad stopped gambling. It's been a minute now. It's been quite a few years, but
Mm.
that I think in a lot of Jamaicans' eyes, Caymanas is something special to them, and it does, it has a whole, it's just a whole industry, right? There are a lot of people that benefit from all the things that Caymanas has brought to the Jamaican landscape, and also even the government. I think they
Mm.
reduce certain taxes on or GCT on importing like horses and things like that. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's in their best benefit to put those conditions in. So I agree with you, Phil.
Mm. Okay. What next one?
Kirk has a thought process on the whole
S
matter. I say do an
Yeah.
SPV, special
Special
purpose
purpose.
vehicle,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
vehicle, yeah, with a 50-50 interest, government and SPL. Transfer the land in the SPV and
And that
problem
solves the
solve in
problem.
my view.
Oh.
And then Kirk says, diplomats, you say that too. Yeah,
Mm.
well, Kirk, that's okay. 50-50 split, private and public. I don't know. That's one way to go about it, to be honest. I'd have to do a lot more research just to say to form an opinion. But that's an interesting thought.
Mm-hmm.
Um Mr. Campbell says IPOs are not like 2019 and some stocks are not at the best high like 2019. I've been watching
Mm-hmm.
the market and see investors hold on to long term with losses, as in NCB that was trading high. You're right, it's a different market now, but that's the thing with markets, they're evolutionary. One year
Mm-hmm.
they're up, one year we're the best stock market in the world, one
Mm-hmm.
year we're in 2025. So,
Mm-hmm.
it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then Phil said, that sounds reasonable to me, Kirk, if it allows SVL full management autonomy. Can't subject the private company to government procurement shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Phil. Yeah. And then, Kirk said it can be ironed out with clauses. We should probably do a whole episode on this since you guys like it this much. Um, I would actually do an episode on this too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, just even just ask people in general, like, are there any episodes that they think they'd want us to do or create or talk about?
Hmm. Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love suggestions. We actually really love suggestions. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Mr. Roswell, uh, or
Mm-hmm.
Roswell Campbell said, I will take
And it's
a,
fun.
I keep saying Mr. I don't even know. But yeah, I will take a medium outlook as I see how the market's moving. And Phil says, horse racing drenched in politics, both partisan and otherwise, sadly, holds back the business. Yeah, I don't like to say businesses being held back like that. So yeah, if something can be done to revamp that industry, I said I'm trying, but I do think it's going to take a lot more. Um, like I do think a takeover is gonna happen. Somebody's gonna take over
Take
that
over of what?
takeover of Caymanas. I
Oh,
definitely
there's like
think,
the
yeah, the government's
NCB.
gonna, no, not NCB. You want this NCB company, but yeah, let's not get in any more heat. We already posted our video on NCB and our thoughts, and as we said, NCB will drop to 30, and here it is. So
Mm.
um, but yeah, but we didn't even talk about any stocks from you, Preston. What stock are you looking at?
Mm. Let's see. I'm trying to think. So which ones have you? I don't want the one that you said.
So I said Atlantic, and I
Mm.
said Select MD.
Select MD. Yeah, that's an interesting one. What we said was NCB an official one?
I mean, we can
I would
still talk
say,
about it.
yeah, I
No, it
would
wasn't
say
official.
I'm watching the NCB stuff. It's kind of it's a lot to keep up with. I haven't even I think read. There's some articles I need to read.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'll even get the chance to, or when I'll get the chance to read it. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting with what seems to be going on. The shares are what I guess leveraged, and yeah, there have been a lot of like sales of shares. The share price has been falling. What price is it closing at today? Today it closed at 31. Yeah, 31. And it
Mm-hmm.
also hit a 52-week low price of $30. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
is quite interesting. To NCB has the prophecy has been fulfilled. The terrifying drop to 30. Yeah, almost every day there's something. There was the whole thing with like the loan that they were refinance or the loans that they were refinancing, and then it was like going on for like a while, and they weren't getting the terms they wanted. And then if
Mm-hmm.
my understanding is right, they then said, okay, to make the I guess the lower the risk of the deal, or to make the deal sweeter in accounting terms or whatever, it's like they then pledged their Guardian shares, but then the Guardian shares were already pledged. Yeah, there's a whole lot. I honestly need to sit down and like I guess go through it. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I hope that you know people I guess learn from this in terms of understanding leverage and the risk of leverage. And
Mm-hmm.
because I think like even I think if there's one big thing I think I've learned from this is to say, okay, like I try to have like I don't know about you, but like a checklist or things that I try to look at in each company before like I
Mm-hmm.
invest in it. And I think if there's one thing you could have, if you've, yeah, one thing you've learned or should learn from this whole situation is, okay, let me check the top 10 or the heavy shareholders in the company and see, are any of them leveraged, or are any of the shares pledged? You know,
Yeah.
have they been selling a lot? Because doesn't
Are
matter
they
how
really
good the
active
company
in the
is
market?
performing
Like
or
very.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, if they're, no matter how well the company is performing or whatever, if someone is just selling tons and tons of shares, increasing the supply
Mm-hmm.
more than any demand of increased profits, increased dividends, or whatever, share price is going to fall. So I think that's something that I'm going to try to look at. Say, hey, are any of these shares leveraged, or has this person been selling? Try to watch for signs that a heavy shareholder could be selling.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you had looked at that from NCB, I remember when we did our NCB episode, I had found articles from as far back as like I don't know, it was like 2000 and something, or like
About
2010
pledge
or something like
shares.
that. Yeah, and about
Mm-hmm.
them like facing issues with the debt and other stuff. So I'm like, yo, if you had looked at that, you might have said, hey, I need to watch this, and you could have like been following it up, and then maybe you could have been down on the investment, maybe down 10%, 20%, 30%. But then you would have said, hey, I don't like how this is looking. This could get worse. I don't like this risk. It doesn't justify the reward. Let me sell. You could have think about it. Someone could have sold at 200. They could have sold at 100. They could have sold at 50, and they would
Mm-hmm.
still be, you know, they'd be able to buy back in cheaper. But they
Yeah.
would have still, I guess, lowered the loss that they made. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this is interesting. Do I think it's gonna get sold? I have no idea. um, and I'm
Yeah. I'm
watching
not
it,
sure
and it's
either.
it's funny because like I know I think you had said like there was a price that you would buy at.
Yeah.
You had said that
Definitely.
before. It was 20
I think.
or
Yeah.
30.
But
20.
I don't want to say that too loud. Um.
Well, you still feel like that's the price you'd buy at?
Not necessarily. No, no, not necessarily. Why are you laughing? No,
Because that's
20
exactly
would be
what
an
I said.
attractive. 20 would
That's
have been.
exactly
Yeah.
what I
No.
said. I was like, yo, when it reaches 20, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
say,
You'd buy.
yo, whoa. No, no, no. That's not what I said. You would say, wait, but no, but maybe this, or maybe I'm gonna hold
Yeah.
back or something.
Cause it takes because suppose people are still selling, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you said it your lesson is in leverage, there's also a
Mm-hmm.
crucial lesson
It's
to
more just the
say,
shareholder, like looking at the,
I get that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
and
just
I agree.
leverage. Yeah.
And I think the wider point for me is, and it's not like we're bashing NCB as a business, good
Mm-hmm.
business, right? Big bank. I don't know if they're the biggest bank in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
but they would probably say they're the biggest bank. And I have nothing
Yeah,
against
top two
NCB
at
at
least.
all. Yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing against NCB. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I do have an account there too, and everything. However, the company is not the stock, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
something to always remember. Just because the company may be doing good, they're posting profits, they're paying dividends, does not mean the stock price will increase. So, and I think that's the thing that I see people defending NCB on in different groups, in different spaces on Twitter, etc. And it's not like a lot of people are necessarily bashing the company per se. I mean, yes, some shares were pledged, and I get that. But the company being run and so on, like those operations, I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad company, but the stock, you have to be watching for those
Mm-hmm.
signs of increased supply if you're a shareholder. Like, what are the things
Mm-hmm.
that can make the stock drop? You have to start measuring those things, and some of the things are the same things that we said would happen in that episode and
Or
have
could
actually
happen.
happened
It's like
or
could
could
happen.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was just like, yo,
Are we
this kind
profits
of
or
something
do
to
we
look
just
at.
profit? Yeah, yeah. But
Mm.
yeah.
Mm.
Uh,
There was a lot of stuff in the chat, like Rosewell. Hope I'm pronouncing his name. He said you both said NCB would hit low at 39. It would hit al it's real. It's trading real low as $30. Hmm. And then he says, I have been waiting for such a discount. I wouldn't mind if it continues. I'll buy more thanks to those who sell so low.
Interesting.
Okay.
So Mr. Campbell, random question, but what price did you? What's if you mind me asking, what price? What's the average price, on NCB, or what price have you been buying at? Maybe average price would be a better question. And why do you
Mm-hmm.
think, it won't continue trading even lower? Because
Mm-hmm.
there must be a point where you think, okay, if it does get to this low, does it make sense? I keep averaging. You know that meme, Preston, where you say you buy the dip, and then the dip
And then the
comes, and
sniper
then
is
there's
behind.
another, and then the sniper is
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
Yeah,
The dip that I
like the
thought
dip.
was the dip and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
don't know, because I thought, what is the dividend yield at this price actually? I should check that. Wow.
probably pretty high because it's 50 cents. The last, I think I think it's
Based
pretty
on the
good.
2024, last year was the last year's dividends, it was 6.44% before fees.
Mm,
That's
mm,
wow.
yeah.
Could
So
I
hey, if
drop a
you're a real
little lower?
dividend
Yes.
investor,
Could I drop a
hmm
little lower? Yes. Because I guess after fees, I don't know. How much are it's like 1%, 2% on the, maybe about five. Hmm, interesting.
yeah. I think there's
Hmm.
another comment in the chat. Um, Daniel Ferguson. Omni seems to be a good one to watch. They may be
Mm-hmm.
boring, but their products are quietly helping to build the country's infrastructure, and they
Mm-hmm.
continue to seek new markets. Okay.
Mm.
I like your take.
Mm-hmm. You
So
remember the other
Omni
day,
listed.
one of my brothers was
Oh.
like telling me about it, like Omni,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Yeah, look how Omni's doing bad," and I was like, "What?" But Omni is actually one of those that has been holding up. It was like $1, but then when I looked at it, it was like 50 cents. I was like, "What the heck?"
Mm-hmm. Profits have
But
been
now
down
it's
from what I
73
remember.
cents. So I guess I had
Yeah.
like a rebound.
Oh
Profits
wow,
were
they
down.
fell
Oh, a
to
bit.
56 cents, and they listed at $1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And now they
Mm.
bounced back up to, what is this,
Mm-hmm.
73?
I
A
do like,
huge
I've
trade
been
happened at
seeing
3.5.
directors buying though. That's one of the things
Mm-hmm.
that I'd say is interesting. I think directors, not necessarily heavy, but at least I think I've seen directors been buying since it listed. And now I'm
Mm,
like the prices they were buying at back then was like $1. So now if it's at like
yeah.
70 cents, whatever, that could be, you could say, hey, let's see if they have some free cash to see if they'd be buying.
Mm. Well, if you look at their most recent report for the quarter ending March 31st, they actually
Mm-hmm.
recorded revenues of 471 mil, reflecting a 22% decline from 606 mil in 2024. Right.
Mm.
And they said the reduction
Interesting.
was anticipated due to the extraordinary export sales performance during the comparative period last year. So it seems
Mm.
they couldn't keep up with, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't keep up that level of sales. You know,
Mm.
and they said core construction related supplies continued to be the main revenue driver, accounting for 58% of total revenues.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they said gross profit was down by
Mm-hmm.
36% year over year, largely reflecting the revenue variation.
Mm-hmm.
And they said despite this operational improvements and product diversification efforts
Mm-hmm.
position Omni for a rebound in subsequent quarters. So if you're one of those people looking for that rebound,
Wait, that's what they
I
said?
mean, yeah, that's what they said. Literally what they said.
Hold on. This is the most recent.
hmm This is like the a
Which
summary
part?
of the financial performance. So page 3, they said despite this, operational improvements and product diversification efforts position Omni for a rebound in subsequent
Mm.
quarters.
Mm.
Very
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I don't know who was
Mm.
that again, Daniel?
Remember,
Thank
I
you
was
for
considering
bringing
to
that.
buy it at like $1.
Yeah, thank
And
you,
look at
Daniel,
that. It
for
was a
bringing
good
that.
thing I waited.
Mm. What, you were gonna buy Omni at $1?
I was considering it at one point because like my thesis was, it was I guess weak, but like I was looking at some of the infrastructure projects. Like when I saw, I think some of them was like Spark and some other ones, and I was like, oh, yes, it was mostly road, but then I was like, hey, wouldn't some of that be kind of piping? And then I think NWC is their largest customer, if I'm not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, hey, they're selling a lot of these pipes and they have a lot of these infrastructure projects, election, whatever. That could be like a lot more revenue for them. But I couldn't really, I guess I couldn't, I never, I guess, chased it down enough. But I
Yeah,
guess it's good because now the business is cheaper for me. So if I wanted to buy, I could
true,
buy cheaper now. So it worked
true.
out.
Yeah, I guess another
Yeah.
one too. Thanks for saying that because I'm actually gonna do some more a deeper dive into Omni just to see,
Mm-hmm.
can they actually back up what they're saying? Would there actually be a rebound? Because that's a possible path to profit. And I mean, you would have profited if somebody was buying at this dip right here when it was trading at 56 cents. Still
Mm-hmm.
not super high volumes, but it's 60 cents and so on, and then it rebounded. It's almost at what 73 cents today as it closed at. So and there've been
Mm-hmm.
this is a lot of volumes compared to what it normally trades at. A couple days ago, only just yesterday, there were 3 million shares traded.
Mm. Hope it's a director.
Yeah, hopefully, let's see. I guess we'll see when the notice comes out. Oh, but there is a notice out that says yesterday that Omni advises of a trading shares by a director, but that was on the 4th of April. So yeah, that's not for now.
Mm.
That was a long time
Interesting.
ago. Okay. All right.
Some other stuff in the chat. Let's say Rosewell answered. He said this is, I think, really a question about NCB and him buying NCB at like what price. He was saying he'll buy as low as 34 and 32.50 and 33 incrementally. So I guess he's buying slowly. He said he always tends to dollar cost average stocks because no matter how low a stock is going, it can always go lower. See, Kirk says NCB is in my portfolio and I'm down 23%, 100K plus, and I'm still buying. Time will tell for me. This is the longest play for me in my book.
Okay.
And I see Troyan asked a question. He said, what if Sagicor Investments bought back Select MD shares before the conversion? Would they report a profit in their portfolio? If yes, would this be an incentive for them to buy back below NAV? So they bought it back just like open market then? Um,
Where would they get the shares?
let's just talk about like they do an offer. No, the offer would be weird. Then people probably
Yeah.
create that away still. So open markets, just buying on the open market, interesting. I'm not sure if they would get well. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's something I
I
never
mean, I
really thought
think
about.
it's something that I think it's imaginative. I think it's probably more imaginative than I think they are. Like I don't really, I don't know. Do you think Sagicor really takes the? I don't see them like taking the market seriously. I don't see them
Somebody asked me
like
recently, when was the last you know,
IPO. Ari
IPO
Williams. They did Ari Williams.
that no good IPO them say that Sagicor has done. And I'm assuming their metric of good means, they've
It's gone up
you
in
know,
value.
yeah, I don't know by whatever percentage.
Hmm.
And I really had
Or
to
any
stop and think
percentage.
because
But how many
I
IPOs
can't
do they do
recall.
in the place first though? Ari
The things
Williams.
I'm remembering are, yeah, our first rock. I think they did first rock too,
Oh,
and we know how that went.
how did that
um,
go?
well, I don't think first rock ever traded at IPO price. I think it's always traded
I
below
think on
IPO
the
price.
JMD side, it did have a bump. It did have a bump on the JMD side, I think. I'm not sure if it's specifically
I don't
IPO
know if it
price
was
though.
sustained,
Yeah, it
but
was just a. Hmm.
yeah. But then I'm even looking now at who are the top 10 shareholders of Select MD, and number one is JCSD Trustee Services Limited, Sigma Equity, so that's also still Sagicor, and then you have number two Sagicor Pooled Equity Fund and Sigma Global Venture, Sigma Diverse Investor. So it's not necessarily far fetched that they wouldn't invest in Select
Hmm.
MD. That's actually a
Hmm.
good point.
Yeah,
It's
that's
possible that they
well.
could.
It's not. It's possible, but I don't think that's likely to happen. You
Is
think so?
um I don't think
Hmm.
it's likely, but even if you look at the most recent the top 10, you see that number 2, which is Sagicor Pooled Equity Fund, actually just, I mean, they only bought 22,000 shares, but yeah, that's not really telling you that they would buy in heavy volumes. I
Hmm.
still think it's possible. Is it likely though? No, I don't necessarily think it's likely at all. But if they did, I don't know. Can there be repercussions? I'd love somebody in the financial. I don't think there can be. I think they could. Man said yes,
Hmm.
buy on the market, not an official buyback, just buying because they can get value from that investment. Similar to how
Hmm.
Gina could report a profit on Atlantic shares when the price goes up. Fair.
Hmm.
Um, would they do it? My answer is, I mean, if they did, that would be big brain. Would they do it? I'm not seeing anything to suggest that Sagicor would do something like that.
Hmm.
It would be good, and it could be wishful thinking because what would that do for the share price?
Hmm.
But I agree that it would be an incentive for them to buy back below NAV. So buying back now would help them.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. Was there
So
any other? I think so. And that was NCB on my end.
mhm. We have a
Trying to
few more
think.
minutes left, like a couple more minutes left. Any other stocks you like in Preston on the market?
Yeah, I'm trying to look now.
I mean, there's so many stocks we like. I haven't even touched on things that are really, well, I guess they're not as exciting as some of the
Hmm.
things we've said or things that you guys have said, but there are always good things on the market right now. People say the market is dead. You believe them?
Hmm. I think one of the ones I'm watching, and I guess this does tie into like NCB, is the JSC, the Jamaica Stock Exchange itself. In some ways, how I was kind of mentioning it was that say for example, the ownership of the majority ownership of NCB were to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
A trade would have to be made of those shares, right? And I was like, hey, the value, if you limit the value of those shares, depending, well, it depends on what price it trades at, but that how much is it worth? Let's see. So AIC's stake at the time that we're recording at this $31 is worth 37 billion Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
If that were to trade, for example, you know, the they probably try to negotiate some sort of fee on the JSE, but that's a huge transaction. That would be probably one of the. I'm trying to think of what were some of the large transactions last year. This year was the
Transjam offer for sale.
and that was like what 9
Mm-hmm.
billion.
Yeah. Was that with the
Um,
upsize? Yeah, I think so.
because like 9 billion or so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then yeah, and even things like what CPJ, AS Bride and stuff that was last year. I think there was also like was it Jamaica Producers or Sagicor trade too? Those are some big trades, but this could be quite the significant trade,
Yeah. Even
And
Tropicals APO.
yeah, I guess we'll have to see how much they raised, but yeah, in some ways, I guess I was saying that hey, you could maybe, I guess, indirectly benefit from that because
Yeah.
the adding that profit to like the JSE, them I don't know, paying out a dividend or that kind of stuff, and then you don't have to take on the risk of the NCB share price falling more. Like you don't
Oh
take that
yeah.
risk on directly. And even if the share price falling, they're still getting trading fees and stuff. Like even recently, I
Mm-hmm.
was looking like NCB. They were even at this $30 price and stuff. There have been some decent volumes, like I say, 1 million units, 2 million units trading. You know.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point that you brought up, that even whether stocks go up or down, once they're going up and down, JSE
Mm-hmm.
will make money off of the trades. So, um, very
Mm-hmm.
good point. I also
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that, and I think you spoke about it in one of our previous episodes, their trustee services as well.
Mm-hmm.
They've been gaining decent revenue from their trustee services. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
just, oh, we're looking at the market is down or less trades, so JSE is not making money. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that, because they also make money from different ways as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the trustee services, that those fees being a higher portion of their revenues in
Mm-hmm.
recent years, I think that has helped them to weather a lot of the storm of whether there are less trades than if people are comparing it to high trade years like 2019 and so on. They've actually done
Mm-hmm.
much better, and if you look at their most recent reports, they've made some significant profits. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if that's their best year. I can't know. Or was that revenues? I'm trying to remember. Let's see if I can go.
Best in at least a while.
It's
Safely, you could
yeah,
say that.
best in a long time, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
No, not best year in terms of profits, but 2019's profits were. Is this
I think it may be the best
is this
quarter.
500 mil? I feel like it should be more than that though. And this was 496. So yeah, it's and this quarter has been pretty good. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to actually look to see if it is the best quarter that they've ever had. But
Mm-hmm.
if this level of trading activity continues, if you see more listings, I mean the junior market limit raised, and we haven't seen have we seen anyone take advantage of that? I don't think so. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also another
Yeah.
opportunity as well to see more, more
Mm-hmm.
listings, all of that. The JS, I mean, the more stocks they even earn from just being on the stock exchange itself. I think you have to pay annual listing fees. So every year
Mm-hmm.
you're there, you pay a fee. So the more companies come to market, so you have the initial listing fee, you have the annual fee, you just have trades overall. So they make money in several different ways. So I can see as the market grows, the JSE itself would also have to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's a nice little, what you say, a pension stock. I see a pension fund.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's one of the ones I think is interesting. I'm interesting to see like the developments with like the bond market too. So they keep
Hmm.
talking about it. I guess we'll see how that plays out. I'm trying to look
Okay.
if there's another one.
The bond
Let's see.
market.
Hmm.
Yeah, the green bonds and those. Yeah, they did mention quite a bit of that.
Cygnus, actually, yeah, Cygnus is one that's
Somebody
pretty
did mention
interesting.
Cygnus earlier. It was Humble Boss at the start.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause have you seen? I had like some alerts, and it was telling me that there'd been a lot of trades going off at I said like over $13 for
Hmm.
Cygnus. When I look at that, like those level of just some serious volumes, like 400K units. How much? How much is that?
Uh,
That's not
I'm
monkey
not
money.
sure.
It's like 6.5 mil this trade, and then another day 200K units, 300K units. I was trading at 13.
Yeah.
I suspect that it's the.
Buyback.
Yeah, like I suspect that it's them buying back shares. I guess they do have a lot of time. 'Cause if you look at it, if I always started with a look away, because like they said, yo, I think they're willing to buy up to 9 mil US, but then up
Hmm.
to up to the end of June or so. Like it was, I don't know, it was like maybe over a mil US or something like that. I don't think it reached 2 mil, or if it did reach two, it didn't pass 2 mil.
Hmm.
So it was like way, way, way. They still had a lot of money. Like, and even if they don't spend necessarily the 9 mil, like even half, you know, that's why I was saying that Cygnus does actually seem pretty,
Yeah.
I guess,
I mean,
quote
if you look at
unquote,
their
like.
PE, their PE is like
Well, I think that
three.
has like a one-off in it though.
True.
Um,
Yeah. Fair.
so it's not really P, yeah, even just a NAV. 'Cause I think that's one of the things that they say, oh, like, oh, the net asset value or whatever. I think it's when I worked it out. I don't think it's probably very up to date. Maybe this was like a 1 or 2 quarters ago. I think it was like 16 or 17. So if it's
Hmm.
trading at 13 or so. And then even on the US side, could they have
You see
two
interest.
types of shares? I think, yeah, I'm seeing some
Hmm.
volumes. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because if they continue to buy, that's known demand coming in. There's
Hmm.
then if they're not gonna issue any shares, like supply is limited, eventually the share price will start. I mean, it's already started, I guess, going up, but you may start to see some like $15 signals, $16 signals.
Hmm.
Would I dare even say $20? Maybe 2 units trade.
And yeah,
Who
their
knows?
next report is due. Well, it would be their Q4. I'm wondering because when you look at it, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, year to date, this is the most profits they've made, I think, ever.
That's
I
discount.
think
Well,
they've
remember, once again, it's the one-off. There's they legit
still,
say, yo, it's a one-off. No, they legit say,
yeah.
yo, it's
Okay,
not gonna
fair.
happen again. So I'm not sure if when you adjust for that or you normalize that, if it actually ends up like, I'm sure it's decent. Like, I'm just not saying
Yeah.
it's like, best
I,
ever or that kind of stuff.
hey, those things do translate to dividends as well, still. So,
Or
and
management
they
fees.
or management.
Or both.
¿Por qué no los
Why
dos? Yeah,
choose?
yeah, real.
So why
Why
choose?
choose?
I just said Troyan said, well, Roswell said how MJE's portfolio is doing. I believe they hold shares in NCB. You'd have to, well, not just believe. They publish it, they legally publish it. They They do, because yeah, we know what their portfolio was up to. I can probably share. We know what their portfolio was up to the end of up to the end of June
Hmm.
this year, and NCB was one of their top holdings. And this isn't even factoring in how much it's dropped, because I think they bought before APO. Then they bought pre-APO. Look at that. I think NCB was like up here somewhere, and then now look at it. But yeah, they own a lot of NCB. They're not like top
Hmm.
10, but it's one of their top 10 holdings.
Yeah.
Uh, And let me see. Troyan says, nah lie, still, but the select MD play seems to be a nice setup for a leveraging opportunity. What if I out all my money at Sagicor into select at 80
Put.
cents and leverage it?
So
Oh,
he's basically saying, what if I put
mm-hmm.
all my money at Sagicor into select at 80 cents and leverage it at $1.25? That's a nice margin. Boy, Troyan, yeah, you
Mm. So
Troyan
you're saying
really meant in
margin
the
when it's
stock.
at the 80 cents? And then put that margin money
He said leverage
like
it
double down
at
into
a
it?
dollar 25.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like you
But
buy it at 80 cents, margin, put the
margin
money
it,
back into it, and then, oh, okay.
and then it right. Yeah.
We say margin again. And he says, beautiful opportunities. Roswell says, Cygnus has been one of my picks for a long time. I remember when the stock was trading low at 11.90. Yeah,
Yeah.
Cygnus is interesting.
Honestly, I think
Uh,
there's a lot of these companies are beautiful on the market. You know,
mhm,
that's the beautiful thing about the market, yo. Like there are opportunities everywhere. Yes, some stocks go down, but hey, stocks go up every day too. So
mhm.
Troy and say Matthew, nah, I get the thing. Boy, Troy and need to come on the podcast one of these days and we just talk it through.
So
Sounds
put
like
all his money in.
he's a select MD warrior.
Uh,
Yeah,
he
put all my
said, but I
money
think
in at
he's,
80 cents.
uh-huh.
Wow.
And then
That-
he's saying he'd margin at the 80 cents or borrow at this price and then use that to buy more, right? Or what does he do with the margin money then? That's what I'm saying then. I thought he was like
Leverage.
doubling down into it.
Hmm, I'm not
Yeah.
entirely sure.
He said then leverage after conversion.
Hmm.
But why not leverage before though? That's what I'm saying. I thought you just said, yo, I just want to buy more at 80 cents. I love it at 80 cents. Let me buy more. You know? I don't know.
Unless you think the stock price can fall further and you be fearful of a
Or
margin
he says
call.
using my margin money to do whatever I want. What if whatever I want is to buy more select MD? That's us. Was there any other? I'm looking at the market. Because how many have I said? I said NCB, JSE, Cygnus. Mm, said managing his
I
risk.
mean, we also touched on quite a few stocks as well, because we
Mm-hmm.
also spoke about Kingston Wharves, cargo handlers. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
spoke about quite a few stocks, even the stocks that you guys said in the chat. Thank you guys for
Mm-hmm.
even talking in the chat. We really appreciate it. Uh, but yeah, no, I thought this was actually really good. Um, I don't know any more you wanted to say, Preston,
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
looking at. That's what I'm looking at. Maybe I can do like one more. Do the people want
yeah,
one more?
I feel like we could talk one more. I have a long list here. I don't know if you
Mm,
want to go.
yeah, I'm looking. I'm looking. One sec. Well, you can go in the meantime. Okay, you can probably give one more, and I'll try to give one more.
Okay. I mean, I spoke about this stock. I actually did a ticker on this stock, and it's still Indies. I mentioned Indies, but I didn't go into it in detail in this episode. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely, Indies is a stock that I'm watching, keenly watching Indies right now. I think
Mm-hmm.
Indies it's a pretty good price. They pay, I think
What price is
dividends
it at
maybe
now?
340. I think I need to check.
340.
Um,
What do you think of them getting the
mhm.
delay though?
For the Regadenoson,
Mm-hmm.
just a matter of time.
I
What
thought
do
that
you
was
think of
quite a
Transdram
wild
getting
delay
the
though.
true?
No, but it's almost
But
like they were telling us like, yo, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be this, just a little more time, like 1 month, 2 months, and then bam, it's like them say end of the year, and I'm just like, wait, how did it go from
yeah,
this to like it's like almost like a 6 month delay?
I agree, but the company is still making decent money even without it. And
Mm-hmm.
remember the man's estimates, sorry, not the man, but Dr. Mapuri, I should say. Big
Guna.
up Dr. Mapuri. We actually met him. You guys need to look out for that episode. The episode's gonna be really cool. We actually went down to the AGM and we met him and his wife, and some of the team there as well. Lisant, really cool people. But I think Indies is a good play because even his conservative estimates were he said conservatively when
Mm-hmm.
Regadanasan's sales start, going through the
Mm-hmm.
pipeline, they get them in the US. He said the profits, the revenues and the profits would conservatively double. So when that happens, or if that happens, because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's just a great opportunity for Indies. And even right now, they're still doing pretty well. They're still, their drugs are still
Mm-hmm.
being sold. I think their revenue
Mm-hmm.
was down a little bit, but their profits actually, they manage their expenses well, so their profits are actually good. Let me look. I need to actually
Mm-hmm.
look at Indies again. But this is just from what I remembered when I was looking at them a couple months ago. So I
Mm-hmm.
still think they're a pretty good company, tightly held company as well. I don't see anyone that's selling the stock heavily right now. In fact, I see top 10 even buying more. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also a
Mm-hmm.
good indication for me
Mm-hmm.
as a shareholder. So let me see. Yeah, so their profits were just slightly down by, I think,
Mm-hmm.
9%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and revenues were down by 10%. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, I am just waiting on those sales, and either way, still a really good company. I can get some units, so
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of why I like Indies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also in the same industry as us, medical industry. So
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
are they the best company in the medical industry in my opinion? Which other company that I like on the stock exchange that's in the medical industry? Also like Elite
Mm-hmm.
too. Don't think I'll touch on Elite today, but I do like
Mm-hmm.
Elite. Uh, that's about it. Really. We need more medical businesses on the stock exchange, man. There are too many good ones out there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
those are the ones I favor. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's just me. Um, Daniel said Indies is a trailblazer. uh, I don't know what you mean, as in like they're leading the way in the
I mean, they're the
market,
first
or
maybe it's talking about like with the
oh,
US, the
medical.
Regadena San, 'cause I think they're first Caribbean
Oh,
country to do it.
they are. Yeah,
To
yeah.
like create their own generic drug and then sell it in the US. That is a big deal. Would- I'm sure other companies would want to do that too.
Mm,
Yeah. I was just looking so I'd say it's interesting that Rosewell said, how do you see Fesco? Because I think Fesco is actually one that because I did see it reach a price and I was kind of like, damn, that's that gives me quite a nice margin of safety. Fesco, I think is decent. It's been falling. I think quite what price is it at now? Let me see. It has been falling over the last few years, and I think it's interesting because it's like, okay, performance of the business I think has been going up. Well, some ways been going up, like they're building out like the LPG cooking gas side, which obviously gonna take like money and that kind of stuff. Um, profits year over year are up a bit, 12%. Revenues up 4%. Not their best year yet, but I do like that. It's been falling, getting cheaper. Right now it's selling at about 15 times earnings. Price is $2.84. I mean, I'm not necessarily expecting rapid growth for them, but I do think there will be a stock that I'd be watching this quarter specifically. Um, yeah, but I mean, they're just gonna continue, I guess, building out their gas stations. I think was the Spanish Town one that they were setting up. That's this year, I think it should be. And then RPL, I guess, already has their own on Spanish Town, so it'll be interesting to see, I guess, how they compete. But yeah, I think I see a play for it. Uh, see more comments. Roswell says, I believe Fesca is building a new gas station that should be, oh yeah, ready by September. Okay, that's pretty soon. And Troyan said a margin after conversion, the value of the money invested at 80 cents would have gone up by 50 cents to 120. So a larger portfolio to margin from. Yeah, but then how are you factoring in the gains that you would make? I guess that depends what you want it, because you buy it at 80 cents, margin at 80 cents, put the margin money into it at 80 cents, then it goes, say, the redemption or whatever works, you then sell it at 120. The gains it could make from that, you're also factoring that in, I guess.
Well, remember, he just wants the margin money for himself, like to do whatever he wants. So I think your goal
Mhm.
is different. You want to double down on the stock because
I just want
I guess
gains. Don't we all want
yeah,
gains?
yeah, true. But do we all want the same gains? So
Yeah.
I'm not entirely. He said bigger portfolio equals more money in the margin, but you could be wrong.
He says I don't want to
Um.
sell. Mm. Well, you
Oh,
don't want to sell at the price, you mean? I guess he doesn't find that price attractive.
maybe
Mm.
because as him said, there are a lot of things in that basket, and if
Mm-hmm.
Carreras is still gonna go up, if a lot of those companies are still gonna do pretty well, the value
Mm-hmm.
of Select MD would also still go up. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, bit depends on your goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've actually gone quite over time. And I do have
Hmm.
something to do after this. I'm sure you probably have something too. Uh,
Yeah, and I think is Brick Talk back? Because I know they came back last week, but I don't know if they were. I swore I saw something that they would start today too. If you guys don't know about Brick Talk, check it out. I think that's the after party of our chat. Um, so yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. We really appreciate you guys having just this discussion with us. I hope to see more of you guys talking in the chat. We're not gonna bite your heads off, trust me. Um, and we'll probably do more in the future. No, not probably. We'll definitely do more in the future. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Limitless out.
Peace.